how does Zimbabwe, our culture, fit into the global picture without confusing things? Because unfortunately, even this battle has been hijacked by wrong people.
You're an artist, and now you have a problem with them being an artist. It's your problem. It's not a gender problem.
That's a very good debate, but can tell the figure my levels with all men are dogs. Where are we going with it?
You think it's seen that but someone can be relentless, can phone you 5 times a day. I can do anything. I just want to.
You come and say that she's sending some notes. That one, you know, and then you start clapping hands for that guy. But you have conversations whereby you table such issues and push yourselves to check and say that this is not a correct behavior when you're dealing with young artists or women that are in the industry.
How much do you push your song? In as much as you have social media presence, do people know you? Self-discipline yako, doina kugaida. Asi groupies, as they say, we get phone calls, we get offers. Not here and there. Every time I hold this mic and sing, offers come.
They're not getting those 2 minutes to play because I didn't go to a drink, because I moved around with my manager, who is my husband. So at the end of the day, I'm not giving that opportunity.
Monetization.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Would like to thank Zimu and Intwasa Festival for according men a voice to speak. It seems these days the word gender is just associated with women. So it shows that Zimu is balanced. They also want to hear the men's voices. The gender movement, they are Tangamushe, but along the way, some radical influences cropped in. Statements there, and all men are dogs, all men are potential rapists. Only one phrase which I don't like, that's toxic masculinity. Because there's nothing toxic about masculinity. But there are people who are toxic. Some of them are men, some of them are women. So there's nothing called toxic masculinity. I think the absence of masculinity is what's toxic. Because Mwara Apenge, he created men with masculine traits and he created women with feminine traits. So there's nothing wrong with masculinity. So there's nothing called toxic masculinity. So today I'm surrounded with a high-powered panel. So I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves briefly. Just who you are and what you do.
My name is Mukundu Innocent Dube. Dear Zimu and Intwasa, never leave the I out. Most people always call me Mukundu Dube. Then that confuses everything with my friend Mukundu Nkali. I am Mukundu Innocent Dube, NID. And I'm the founder and director of Mukundu Abacha School of Arts, founded in 2001. We are 25 next year. And yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, salibonani lonke. Linjani. My name is Ramzi. Say Ramzi K. I'm called Sir Ramzi K. Yes, I'm a singer, actor, and director. Yeah, that's me.
Salbonan, my name is Baya, raised on. There was a time when Ramsey was trying to teach me how to sing. A long time ago, but he failed. But it's a true story, actually. We used to rehearse and had this vision to be professional. So we'd wake up in the morning, stay Ngamatemba, and walk all the way, I think, how many kilometers to Machoba and rehearse there. So we go a long way. I am an artist. I wear so many hats, but maybe here I'm with Intwasa, and sometimes because it's an organization, so sometimes I take a lot of credit that doesn't belong to me. but those that are close to me know that there are people behind me that make sure things happen when I'm running all over the place. Thank you very much.
My name is Bashubi, aka Mkwana Noise, a musician. Can I really go though? This is the face. So, yeah, to those who know the song, that's me. I'm always eating, but today I'm a member of Zimu, a patriotic member of Zimu. Ndine uyasinga the rebellious one. Anorura ma-artist, ndakavamaka nemapromota akawanda, because ndakaoma musoro. Ndochokwadi chocho. And also, besides being a musician, I'm a gold miner. I think that's all. Afternoon, everyone. My name is Max Mugaba. I am your favorite here because I'm a promoter. I promote talent, the good talent, the bad talent I leave to others. I like working in the shadows, behind the scenes. I'm the least creative person on this stage. I play no instrument. I write no poems, books, and so forth. But I'm good at creating opportunities for creatives. Yes. So I'm happy to be here, and I hope this discussion it more questions that I can assist you with your career. Not fund you. I am not a funder. I create opportunities. Thank you.
Max, I think I'm going to start with you. You said you are the people's favorite. Because a lot of accusations have been thrown in the way of promoters. My promoters, they are always booking men. My promoters, they are not looking at new talent. What's the difference between a promoter and a sponsor? If we can start with that. Then the second question is, do you discriminate against women?
Okay. I'm going to start with the difference between a promoter and a sponsor. A promoter, like I said, creates opportunities for talent, right? A sponsor funds. So you find in a good economy, you will have your banks, you will have your all other financial institutions being the sponsors, and then you have other houses like my promoters who will then create opportunities to spend on that money that the sponsor would have given you. Just say you will be looking at a return on that investment, which is usually around 25 to 30%. So for every dollar that a sponsor or investor puts in, they're expecting that they make 30 cents out of it. Are you getting me? Now, a promoter will come in and say, okay, guys, I can be able to take you to this part of town where you can be able to showcase your talent. Basically, is a middleman that makes things happen where the musician will be able to meet with their fans. Then coming to the second part, do we discriminate when you are booking talent? Absolutely, yes. We do discriminate based on how much money you can make for us. So it doesn't matter the color of your skin, your gender, it doesn't matter. As long as I can make money from your talent, then I'll work with you. But what has been happening was that most females have had my challenges of good in society. Vatogara vari already my fringes, understand? They are not put in the spotlight first. You find kudara kwainzi a girl child marishoma pamba, a girl child divanza uchendo chikoro. It has always been like that. So now we've got now the market. It has tended to skew towards the male artists, because the male artists have been showcased more, they've been promoted more, not because so now the females have a voice. So all of a sudden now they see as if they're not being put on a post, but Vashoma, that can have a return on what? On investment. Now, here we're not talking about your talent, we're talking about what? Return on investment, because this is not charity work, this is a business. So, like I said, we do discriminate based on your return on our investment. Zvimwe zvese zvaingori drama.
Okay, I like the honesty. Peace, Bashuti.
Yes.
Every time Panotaur the top 5 artists in the country, there is a complaint which says, why is it there are less women in Papa? Do you think there should be a quota system? Cannot it's based on merit? And how can we balance it?
Sitting on an honest truth, inangu ndo pandinozonzi ndakamakwa ipapo pakuti everything nowadays, especially zvamataura, there's a lot of corruption as far as looking at the female or the male artists when it comes to the top 5. Because top 5 in Zimbabwe, it depends on who do you know and who is he. Because when I look at, I've worked with so many I was groomed by Joy Somarai, the late Joy Somarai, and she took me to so many countries. And working with a lot of women in the industry, I've seen a lot of talent. Like, so every time I see like Hope Masike, my heart is so, but why is she not in the top 5? Just because she's not Ja or Wikiti or any other person, I believe she has to be in there. Look at Edith Otonga. Look at, there's so many.
People voted in with the top 5 counties.
They are voted in, but through back doors.
I know. My question is this one. Kana Pachirongwa show. I'm sure I would by I can call you a promoter. I can safely call you a promoter. And even Kulele, I can safely call you a promoter. If we put up a poster.
Yes.
Prime time. There is prime time towards the end of the show.
Yes.
That's where the top 5 artists are supposed to perform. And if someone is not part of that list, they can be booed or stoned. That's why my question is, so could you level towards the end, the top 5? Are you voted in? Are you chosen? Count is the audience. Count your popularity that gets you there.
Sometimes it's not popularity. Because what I believe is, beat a gala or castle tangard or okay great challenge. People always come regardless kuna jaga or both okay great challenge. But the problem we have seen with our promoters, he is Delta, he is the promoter who's running. And Tibashi brought that 10,000 upward 10 ways out. He I'm talking not already, not already. More is more. Someone would put on show as soon as 2,000 and to go to. So by the end of the day, the person on stage is working hard, but see. That's one. Number 2, women. What I've seen is good. The women that are put there, but the meeting and the guy is why I asi munhu kana asina kumbondipawo mbijana nemupi. They always ask for sex before. Doesn't matter who you are. That's the power they use. Because promoters, if you check, most promoters and big guys are more offices, one or women. So whenever they look down upon women, that's why I always have a problem. They are more angry because into nobody can I tisa or 3 women got 2 or cats. But the promoter and a problem. What the promoter is doing and corruption. If you check, most shows is the same guy for 7 years.
Okay, let's move to Nkululeko. Nkululeko, I'll rephrase my question.
Yes.
Towards the end of a show, let's say per show, pana Japreza, pana Winky D, pana Alec Macheso, pana Dokas Mo, those some of the artists who are in top 5. And then the MC comes and says, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Winky D? Why not? Yeah. Are you ready for Baba Shero? Why not? Yeah. Are you ready for Japreza? Why not? Yeah. Okay, we're going to give you more Mukundu. What do you think will happen? I'll get booed. Is it because they hate me? That's why I'm asking you in top 5. Are people voted in by the promoters? or they are chosen based on their popularity with the audience? Can you reply?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. That is not where the problem starts. The show is the end result. It starts from airplay. It starts from, I've always said my problem with a lot of stations, for instance, that we have in Zimbabwe, you are not trendsetters, you are trend followers. We are not brave enough to tour a musician and say, this musician we're going to push until the people love. Do you remember Onde Minda? Panika song kataimba without, because everyone was singing it. Music is about Shingirira, Katsirira. You see? So, why? When you hear a song so many times, when something is played, it's promoted, it's given to you, subconsciously, especially because we have a lot of talent in Zimbabwe, we have a lot of amazing artists, but we don't have people that are brave enough to put that talent on a pedal. It's the same thing. If a musician from Zimbabwe struggles and decides to go and start off in the UK and make it, then we say, that's our girl. Go to South Africa and make it. Perita is ours. That's us. So I challenge all of us to learn to set trends. So that is why then at that show that you're talking about, people are expecting to hear who they know, what they know, and what they've been taught to like. Because art is about trending sometimes.
Okay, I agree with you. In psychology, one year not the near exposure effect. Something, if it's repeated over and over again, you gave us a very good example here that Chimberanga saw. But still on you, we now have social media. Do we have a balance? Because the reason why I am asking this question, there was a conference which was held at Jameson, yeah. So they were saying we want to teach artists how to market themselves on social media. And this is about gender, isn't it? There are some women who are saying that their complaints were just about promoters, they want to sleep with us, music producers want to sleep with us. By the end of the conference, everybody was eyeing me. Busy with my inbox. And people were eyeing promoters. So some of the ladies that complained a lot about not being noticed on their social media, although my social media pages are, I went to their social media pages. There was nothing. We want to be objective, but Mwangane 3 years as nacha poster, Mwangane 4 years as nacha poster. Mwaita umbeita zuma drama, umbeita zuma music. Once in a while, umbeita zuma music. So in the days of social media, back to you. Can we still complain about airplay that much?
Yes, we should. We must. That's what media should do. Social media should come in as an extra for me as an artist to put my work out there and to be known. But it should not deprive me from a national station playing my music. It should not deprive me from a newspaper writing about this young artist from Jube, from Magwegwe. I think then we are giving people an excuse of closing out. Because social media probably does not reach, I don't know, but people can hear music on radio. And I think it's only fair that we have people that really take it upon themselves to promote young talent. Otherwise, then we will continue having the same complaints. What we are talking about here in Mono, I was sitting there and thinking, most of the problems we are having, even this big issue about gender, it's about most systems that are not working. Then that are driving people into desperation. Then that desperation drives us into where one becomes the cat and the other becomes the mouse. So imagine if a girl knew that for them to promote their music, they need to do A, B, C, D. They don't need Dube. They don't need Bayer. Then it's easier. But at the moment, poverty, desperation to get there, because a lot of systems are not working, I'll put in quotes, normally. They are the ones that are then making us sit down here and try to solve this problem. Otherwise, when they don't need us and they just need their talent, then it works.
Yeah, who answered, hungry people are never nice to each other. We are hungry. Ramzi, there's a tendency that once a woman is married, baby, showing, but when she's married, she stops singing. How can we solve that problem?
Problem here, you don't date someone. Saka, like when one sees someone performing on stage, they approach, right? That's the husband to say, I love you, like, then they engage, with a family. Why are you coming home late? But here, come on, Ari stage.
I come on late.
Akamona late, Ari stage. It's late. So, and now the women, they said, they are now the backbone of the house, the housekeeping, what? Kuti murume yenda, then the wife remains home. I've seen so many artists here. Some of them, Vakatsi, it's been years since we met. But when I saw them today, I was shocked. Say, are you alive? Didn't I say so? Hey, oh mama, didn't I say, are you alive? I did, I asked them. Yes, because they've been there. So with this one, you cannot solve it. Uguti, when you see one, let's have respect to our female artists. Let's have female artists and male artists. Create artists. With the Zalabantwana Babylama artists. Not to now you are in a bakery, you're making bread, and then you say, in bakery, and then you Lina Bantaba Mansafun the baker. Then let's promote each other. Let's promote what my wife is doing. Let's promote what my husband is doing. I read a quote now while I was sitting there to say, women sometimes, they abuse men. Mkazi anokutengera boxer short, okutengera shirt, akutengera isicathulo. And then she goes around and say, Mumona akadai, I met him. They're like that at times. So it's like a stone.
Yeah, we'll come to that one. But we just wanted to cover because there are a lot of women who, after they get married, they disappear from the scene. But at the same time, we want to balance things. We also want to acknowledge men who are supporting their women, like Muruma Janet Manyoa, Muruma Sandra Ndebele, Manatsa Tende Manatsa. Because at times we focus too much on the problem and we forget to notice the progress. There's a lot of progress in that area, but patching it to my small ones. But at the same time, we still need to mention to my small ones twice so that we clear everything. Okay, I'm coming to you, Mr. Bayer. This time I was recording this group, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a producer, by the way. So this time I was recording this group, Mr. Bayer. And then they were having my arguments. The band was about to split. And the lady said to the guys, she was young, and the guys were older guys. Oh, and as you can see, I've got certain advantages that you don't have. I've got something that you do not have. So if this band split, I'm okay. And the band split with her, and she was okay. She, within a short time, she had a PA system. And one of her boyfriends bought a studio so she could record freely. There are cases, ladies and gentlemen, we want to balance things, Panam. There are cases where men are blamed, but at times, once a man is accused, you are dead, your career is gone. You are just one accusation away. And people don't care whether there's evidence or not. Right now, as we speak, funny organization, the Innocence Project, Yogo States, in January 2022, some 375 men who had been accused of rape, exonerated in DNA. You see where I'm coming from? So we need to balance things. Because women might be your own brother. So I don't know manya munhu akaakizwa vati ndarovererwa pamuchinjwa, stone him, crucify him. Pamanenge atori innocent. But anyway, you head kwandiri kubva musabaya kuti such cases happen. There are certain women who want to claim kuti you've got certain advantages that you don't have.
All right, thank you, Mono. Before I answer that, I want to contribute to two things. First, you kept talking about top 5. I personally have an issue when we talk top 5 because we're actually talking top 5 Harare, not top 5 Zimbabwe. And because we never discussed that, it ends up being a national thing, and by virtue of that, it then becomes what history records. So for the last 10, 20 years, our top 5 doesn't change because it hasn't changed in Harare. But so if we really want to talk about top 5, we then need to be talking top 5 in terms of what exactly? Because we have taken a narrative that's being started somewhere and we always make it a national agenda. So we need to start looking there because there's something wrong about that. Then the second thing about wives and being artists and stuff, I think sometimes we make assumptions that either the husband has said stop and stuff. But what really we don't really go back to say, what happens when those two are together and are saying, sometimes it's like we are both artists and you are thinking, we can't be broke for 6 months, both of us. What happens? Because sometimes it's just like, someone was told to stop. Because I think in marriages, for those that are married, if you are in a marriage where you don't sit with your partner and discuss what is going to happen 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, then that's not a marriage. Because you are living on the moment. But if you are planning 5, 10 years, you need to be, where are we going to be as husband and wife who are artists? Are we going to be dancing for 20 years? Are we going to be background singers for 20 years? What is it that we want our children to get from us? And normally that discussion does not come to a platform like this because it's normally a private thing. So when we discuss things like gender, I always say it doesn't have to be a war of sexes. And most of the time, that's where we stop and we end up not going forward because it's like an accusation field. You did this, you did that, hey, I'm here because of that. We need to get to a point where we discuss gender properly and say, what do we want to gain, both of us? At the end of the day, but it's always about accusations and pointing fingers at someone. And as long as we are pointing fingers, we will not go anywhere. We need to come to a point where we say, let's sit down and discuss what is the right thing that we are doing and what are the wrong things that we are doing. What do we need to change and what do we need to continue doing. And then I'll come maybe to your question, which was on you ladies saying maybe we have better options out of this. I work with a lot of young artists, and I always say, I think it was said, a statement was said earlier that I think it was advised to Anne who was talking about her daughter going to university, and I think it was Rombi who said, Rombi or Ting, I'm not sure, about morals starting at home. Because when we're artists, we need to teach ourselves about what happens, where are we going to perform, what kind of environment, so that everyone knows what they are going to get there, so that they decide, they make their decision on their own. Because sometimes I can take 3, 4 girls to a show and someone tells me, Mr. Bayam, I'm not going home today because I have seen something. I'll give you one story. I went to Haifa with a group of young ladies. I think 2 guys, 3 ladies. and taking a play there. When we got there, we're given some rooms with Haifa. You know, Haifa used to treat people so well. So we got there, and one of the girls I had actually gone to ask for her from her parents. And then when we were there, everyone was talking, we're going out tonight, we're not coming back until tomorrow. And I took her, I had like 2 rooms, I took her and put her in another room and closed the door and locked the door. And she was angry, came back very angry. And I think it was after 2 years that she spoke to me and said to me, "Thank you. I now understand why you locked that door." But during that time, she was so angry because when I locked the door, she didn't know why I was doing that. Probably she thought maybe I was locking the door so that something happens. But I knew because I've been to that atmosphere for a long time, and I know, like Tao was saying, our sex, you called it what? Sexual networks. That as artists, when we go out, something just gets loose. And we want to do a lot of things. So we need control.
Yeah.
But we need to teach ourselves that control. The last thing that I would want to say is that I'm always saying the structures, guys. If we don't have structures, we're not going to go anywhere. So if the structures that I'm talking about, if there is an element of abuse, what do we do? Do we have structures to say a group member can report to someone, can tell someone? We don't have those. Because I think when we're talking structures, we're always thinking they have to be national structures. Structures can start at group level. Structures can start at family level.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Baya. Max Mugabe, you're a promoter, and my promoters have been accused a lot by women of asking for sexual favors. And producers who have been accused as well. I want to give one example. It happened in 2016. This lady owed me money. Then later on, it was on my birthday, she sent me a message offering me a birthday present that was very unique. Then I rejected the offers. Then later on, when a fight between the lady and another group in our farm, she had used them Panama gig or something, and then she did not pay them. Then when they were trying to fight her to get their money back, she says, "I'm going to H Metro, and I'm going to review all the producers, all the musicians that are demanding sex from me." And guess what? My name was there. Imagine there's a newspaper. People don't care whether you're innocent or not. They just tore you to pieces. So I was shocked because I found out the blast to paper was telling you that no, go was in and clean. And the only thing that rescued me is I had all the charts. That's when I decided to when groupies make their moves, you need to keep the receipts. So I just told her, you know what? I heard your story about going to the H Metro and the reporter about sexual harassment, but it's a good thing because I've got all the receipts, I've got all the messages. They are not screenshots, they are actual messages. That's how I got out. And it happened again and again about 3 times, but all the 3 cases, because I had the receipts. So my point is, as we fight for gender equality and so forth, let's not be quick to on personal evidence. Let the courts do their job. I gave you evidence here, this organization in states, yakabudisa vanhu 375 through my DNA tests. Wangopomera umosho dzavasina. Right now, ndikatoenda katobudiswa mubusiness kuti arabozi aizoda kunza mukadzi wake studio kwangu ndiye ndichinzi ndiri kudhimanda masexual favor. So Max, your group of people is also one group that's accused of such issues. How do you protect yourself?
Yeah, unfortunately, to kundamia. You know, panitoro gender. We've got my females. Washida kumonopolize kuti gender. We face the same temptations that you guys face. we've got women that are very direct within the industry and outside of the industry. So it really has to take with my structures within your organization. It then insulates you from interacting personally with either is it my groupies or my fellow practitioners. So it is the same advice which I might also give to artists. Which you need to incorporate yourself into a business. Have systems, because now kana on a system and someone wants you want to book somebody, there'll be somebody anenga achita that job inegene process flow yayo. Iwewe pachako unozongosara wani ma personal ako, and those things are now direct kwauri iwewe kuti as a person unozvida here or not, because most of the time I'll tell you as men isitenge tisina that pfungwa, but someone can be relentless, can phone you 5 times a day. I can do anything. I just want to go on that stage. Understand? I can do anything. Some will stop you, go to office, go to they'll get your numbers. This is real. And there is no other way. You could answer, unless you're not Superman. But the bottom line and the other one is you incorporate your business, you have your process flow, your systems in place. There's no so to dealer nema practitioners often. Unlike a good you promote or good dealer artist direct. But artist can manage bagata. Understand? Amushi katani kumaji kumbirana my favors. Understand? Yeah. So that's what we've just done.
Okay, Bashubi, you're an artist. Yeah, those who have played in Harare, you've been to the book cafe. There's a period of time when the book cafe was very busy, and usually my young artists, I found from the book cafe up to Market Square, and then where moms in a motor, tell them, I can give you a lift. And Murwana, it happens both sexes. Bad things happens both sexes. So we want to balance things. Don't say, Mpana lift. Cage 2, Mpana lift. Cage 3, auto mirror. Cage 4, my group is Arko Kwakazi, Arko Kwarume. How do you deal with that?
Thank you, Guamano. In my career, I faced so many. I'll start by saying a lot of people knew Bashubi as God of faith, but they did not know my other side. I'm back to be single for the past 4 years because I was in a very abusive relationship. Kumba. I was beaten, I was cut, I had to do my motor and more. But I would leave my house and go perform. When I go to shows, I would find sugar mummies and mutoraiwa. But not talk about the rent. I've been offered so many times. And I resisted standing on my own portability. I want to stand the dagger and do my own things. But looking at men as well, because of desperation, I can't say names now, but I have 4 or 5 artists that I know. But sugar men.
It's a long list.
And good my inner circle, which I'm but I wonder. Sanogoti inini is zamota wanamkuma wangu kwamba yakuti self discipline yako ndio inakuguide. As groupies, as they say, we get phone calls, we get offers, not here and there. Every time I hold this mic and sing, offers come. We face all these things, but as men we don't talk about these things. Dungoti nini panyae ima groupies apane abuse in both ways. Out book a show. Kwenda umwe female artist wandoziwa unota basha kwa jamari aiwa kwa jamari ndio ta Maria Kat pasitoko na kuitra so no matter what. That's an abuse to me as an artist. Ana ya chomzo ningu ya hapa ati so anakosa kudai and more. So end of the day Also, female artists as well have a tendency of abusing male artists. But I tell
But nothing got it away. It's a safe space. Nothing got it away.
in our safe space, when they abuse us in that manner, usually a person like me, in the problem until I hate you to the last. Because Sunuka is like when you sit down like this and go talk to Nkumamono backstage or someone else that I trust. But our female artists abuse us to an extent. They know they can push a man to a corner. But sometimes it's because men will keep things for a long time. I was in the most abusive marriage for 4 years. But I was in hospital. People didn't know that. But they saw this Bashu bling out there. So I say, as us as men, sometimes if we say we want time, give us space, give us our space. Don't ask for space to do what? I just need my space. And if I come to you as a female and tell you, ladies, I've been to female musicians. I don't like it because as a man, it gets me to this level.
Okay, Ngululeni. According to statistics, there's a serious rise in male suicide, and usually men don't speak out. And the issue of to speak out, it causes someone to keep things, and then you waste some time. Many times you don't just best away. So how can we encourage men to speak out?
Thank you. I think I will start by just rubber stamping what others were saying here. That, for instance, I've been in this, I've worked with young people for over 30 years now, and I've seen them come, I've seen them go, and we have seen a lot, but we don't talk sometimes simply because you are protecting a certain brand. So sometimes we as leaders take the punches on behalf of the brand or the creatives or the young people that we are trying to make sure one day they become good artists. What we seem to be missing more at the moment is we are talking about these workplaces as if that's where we are born. That's where we live every day. But what you don't understand is you are coming to Dube, who is a creative. He is not experienced in, like, for instance, for me, I work, for instance, I think we have the highest number of female artists in Bulawayo here, 15 to 20. But I'm a male. I'm the director. When they have issues, who do they go to? Who do they talk to? Even if they have issues with me or about me, who are they talking to? Sometimes they are talking to the wrong people, or they are talking to their colleagues. I think even the issue of Sumo Gomez is very important. When I started IASA, I came from an education background. I'm a teacher by profession. And it was simply, guys, this is the organization. We don't allow relationships here. And it felt okay. And parents, because you had parents coming to you and saying, and that I think sometimes we don't count our wins. To be honest, back then, we wouldn't be having so many females in this room. And those are wins. We should count them. Back then, we wouldn't have 5 females in a band. It was not very easy. But now I see a lot. I'm happy to see Onolund. I see a lot of young people that are finding it even easier. Not that it's perfect, but it's more easier for them to get into the industry and do things. Back then, I had to go and sit down, Mama Cassandra, and explain. And I had to take her home every day. That whatever happens would come on your head. So I'm going to whereby I was saying we need, even at group level, structures that support us. Organizations where kids can go and where people would bring in experts to talk to them about simple etiquette. These things are happening. You have shows that are booked. And when you bring 5 females, it's okay. One day you say this show is only for males and one female. The people are not happy. Where are the girls? You stop at a roadblock and the policeman will say, yes, bari vasikana. I'm on Sira one. It becomes like it's a normal thing to say these performers are there. I don't know how we can call it. And it is normal, it's happening.
Yeah, true.
But then I think we need to deal with these things in the pieces that they are. It's all over, you know. For certain people, EASA is not complete without the females. And it's not complete with them. Even if they change costume, you know, because what are you looking for? Do you want to be entertained? Are you looking at culture? Are you looking at creativity? What else are you looking for? So where am I going? I'm saying our culture as Africans, as Zimbabweans, has a lot of influence on this topic that we are having right now. We may discuss it. What is the role of a man in our society? What is the role of a woman in our society? What are we doing to progress that role without destroying our tradition, without destroying our culture? That is where we are finding it a bit complicated to fix it. You want to say something?
No, I just wanted to cut you. I was just
sorry, okay.
showing some body language because I was told that our time is up. So I was
all right, okay.
Secretly, I was trying to secretly show you that it's time up, but unfortunately, you don't keep secrets.
What was your question?
No, I didn't have a question. I was just trying to show you that our time is up.
Yeah, okay, fine. But I think my own personal opinion and request is that there's a lot we need to do. How does Zimbabwe, our culture, fit into the global picture without confusing things? Because unfortunately, even this battle has been hijacked by wrong people, as you are saying. This is a good battle.
Yeah, it's a very good battle.
We had the Me Too thing. It's a good battle. But then you get people that are fighting personal battles with you, Mono, using that battle. That deprives the very essence of this battle.
Yeah, I like what he said, but this battle is a very good battle. Is a parent of a male child and a girl child. Perfect. That's a very good battle. But all men are dogs. Where are we going, ladies and gentlemen? They know that this is a prince. No, it's not a prince, it's a dog. It's a puppy. All men are dogs. So yours cannot be a prince, it's a dog as well. Your father is a dog as well. One. So let's let's move away from such language because there's a lot of battle of the sexes on the internet right now. You are nothing. Are you a 10? Are you a 5? Are you a 6? You are nothing. You don't need that. Because as Africans, especially here in Zimbabwe, our cultures were very respectful. Women were so respected. Do you know why to Karwa Babongos apana chaitika? Maybe because I'm nengo asiri wako. But ukarwa moms yetu tangozi waitanga botso and so forth. But pakazotanga kuya westernization ndo yakatanga kuti vakadzi vanogara kumusha baba vanogara kutauni vovakirwa ka one room zvonzi mukadzi chaicho anogara kumusha kutanga akaroorwa nemombe but vozonawo kuita vana vakafanana nasabu. That was not our culture. Kudhara murume aingonovhima kusango dzoka pamba oenda kubasa wodzoka pamba. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give time to the floor. And then I'll ask our panelists to contribute to the answers.
I think sometimes we need to understand some problems are not gender problems, they're personality problems. Right? If you get married to an artist and now you have a problem with them being an artist, it's your problem. It's not a gender problem. Like that's nowhere near any gender. It's your problem. And whatever. It's never a gender. I think also it's very important to know that there are gender problems and there are personality problems. And then it comes, I'm 2017, I performed it in Tuasa Extra on December 28, I think. The next morning when I woke up, I had a message from a number I don't know. It was a picture, I opened it. It had a caption, something for the funny guy. Nudes. Right? A number I don't know, send me a nude, something for the funny guy. right? I'm not complaining, but hey, but I need you to understand. The way I responded was like, before you send such, ask for my permission. Because if I was married, that would have been a big problem in the house. But these are things that we us as men, also get. When I was performing in Botswana, the front row was busy opening their legs. Right? So I now have a rule. Whenever I perform, after I perform, I go to the hotel room, I stay there, I don't come out. That's my rule. Because I'm disciplined. Unfortunately, there are some people in the same shoes who are not as disciplined. That then, when they then sleep with the girl, whatever happens with the girls, now the girls will say, I was raped. Because someone is becoming more popular, it's now used as a weapon. And yet, you created the environment for me and you to have what we have. That's another issue from us, male, the audience. Promoters, when you register National Arts Council, the line that Tafara from National Arts Council always says, when you register as a promoter, you are in the business of making money. So to a promoter, first thing that comes is money. Then everything else follows. There's no way I'm hiring a PA system, a stage, LED screens, paying the cops, paying immigration, just so you can make money and I don't make money. So promoters look for ROI, return of investment. If me paying Novi or Seagull $500 and paying Japanese at $10,000 makes financial sense, I will do it. Not because it's a girl, a woman, and Japanese is a male. It's business. That's what it is. We need to understand that. The narrative that top 5 artists in Zimbabwe are what, we all know those are lies. We all know that's something that's been paid. It's propaganda. If you're in politics, that's propaganda. No one should tell me, hey, there's social media. When you never post, but there's highest followers, people listen to him. It's never on radio. It's got nothing to do with that. We need to understand that the media, the radio people have now want to become celebrities as the artists. The radio presenters want to be celebrities as artists. That's the problem we're having. That's why people are not being played on radio. It's got nothing to do with gender. Those are personalities. I hope you understand. So we need to divorce the gender problems with personality problems. Right? When it comes to reality, it's the same thing. It's not because a woman you're given less realities when you're being played. When was the last time you actually heard your own song on radio? So much that you want to be paid royalties that your song was never paid. Royalties, as far as I'm concerned, between 5 cents and 10 cents, but you want $10,000. I think only ZBC receives money for radio licenses and TV licenses. All the other radio stations, they have to find the money from themselves. But do you know there's an artist? Do you even care? No, you don't. It's not a gender problem. It's a personality problem.
Or I'm not going to respond in the capacity of a radio presenter, but anyway, there's some truth to what you said, but I've got an issue with saying, paintbrushing everyone, just saying everybody. I would rather say some radio personalities, some men, some women. Because before it all, before being men, before being female, we are humans, right? So I prefer to say some. But my point comes to the fact that amongst men, I don't know how far the union has gone, but amongst men in the arts industry, do you have conversations among yourselves? The norm of what I've seen in some spaces, he'll come and say that, she sent me some nudes. That one, and then we start clapping hands for that guy. But do you have conversations whereby you table such issues and push yourselves to check and say that this is not a correct behavior when you're dealing with young artists or women that are in the industry? We've seen this happening even in our churches or over. We've been groomed. Women can attest to that. This is how you are supposed to hold yourself as a woman. A woman should do A, B, C, D. But maybe let's say when it's a men's meeting or a bachelor's party, we are buying meat and saying that, go do your thing. You're the men of the house. So maybe from my end, I would encourage even you as the leaders in the game, Have conversations amongst yourselves as men. Tell each other the truth. I've had the capacity, I've been blessed to be able to be a musician, to be in the film industry, and also in the corporate sector, in creative spaces. And I can tell you that I've experienced sexual harassment on all those different angles. So maybe if you guys as men have conversations, tell each other the truth and say, this is a no, we will not tolerate this, regardless of how popular you are or you're the respected giant in the industry. Maybe it might help us also, move together and eradicate some of these things that we're fighting. I love the issue of keeping receipts. Teach your other peers, your other men, that when this presents itself, be careful. In conclusion, there's a friend of mine, very talented young man, very, very talented. I used to say to him, be careful. He's a funny guy. Say, I love you, hugging some of our female co-workers. He was like, I love you, I love women with big chests and things like that. You'll be laughing and it's a joke. But I'll be like, be careful. You're a very talented guy. Tomorrow you're going to rock up the international space and you'll be shocked when one girl is going to be like, hey, you are hugging me, saying that he loves my breasts. So also to protect yourselves, have conversations among yourselves.
Thank you very much. You are from the media, is it? I've got a small beef with the media, Kulule. Because every time there's something happens, they always call me, Mr. Mono, can you comment? Sometimes they come to my studio, they stop the session. Can we discuss about this? Sometimes they ask me to come to the station. I use my fuel to go there. But I had my birthday last week, and I say, can I have an interview to promote my event down the Buruti Famari? That's not fair. That's advertisement. But you're also paid by advertisers. So it's a conversation for another day. But now I'm going to have this opportunity because I'm recording this. I want the media people to see that it's very unfair how they operate. Anyway, let's move to the next person.
My name is Comrade Phil. I'll respond to my brother, Kululego Dube. You spoke about the issues to do with the song being viral on all radio stations. As a broadcaster, there are some songs that you can't ignore, whether you want or you don't want. I'll give you, for instance, how many people here don't know the songs Chaiva Spangan from Iyas? Sweetie, sweetie. It was played from Bulawayo, Kuruwe, Harare, Marondera. How many people here don't know the song Kanandanyura? People know that song. At times when it comes to music, you don't force people to listen to your song. Good music is easy for it to attract listenership. It becomes easy for us radio broadcasters to put it on rotation because everyone wants to consume that song. At times, most artists, we always encourage them, have a listening session with people to tell you the truth. At times, you start beefing with radio broadcasters because you think your song has that it. But even your girlfriend can't even listen to your own song. So at times, before people have issues with radio stations and radio personalities, do we get time to listen to other musicians? Do you even have time to do production of your song and say, hey, my auntie, or bring your whole family to listen. Let your family first be the ones to tell you the truth, if your song can make it on radio or not. At times, abangina bakwazi lokuthi you're an artist. And we catch stray bullets on radio because someone feels like you have played your song to your friend or your girlfriend. They said, I know this one is going to be the song of the year. But how much do you push your song? In as much as you have social media presence, do people know you? There's an artist here in Bulawayo. Yeah, so if you go Wonder Fit, every Wonder Fit here in Bulawayo, even if you go to Shava and Gwanda, there are these artists called Zivalemvula. They took their USBs to the combi drivers, the Wonder Fit guys. They are not afraid to push their music. Artists, in as much as your song, you think it's a hit, how often do you do a follow-up with librarians, with radio DJs?
That's a powerful statement. That's a powerful statement. Can we catch it because our time is running? But that's a very powerful statement. Do you know that's how dancehall music? Can you take the microphone to Zimu, our Zimu president? As you go there, that's how that's how dancehall became popular. We're getting some flash, never see this mapombis. One, it's not popular besides the music. Then ndamutara nezve me exposure effect yekuti waramba uchingonzwa chinhu, you end up liking it. So that was a very powerful point. Now your platform, Madam President.
Thank you. I want to agree and disagree. We are in a situation where when artists want to express what is happening in the sector, the media in particular, certain people rubbish the experience that we're going through. Why am I saying this? Every time that we want to raise an issue about unfair play on radio, hands bigger my records are kids. Are we saying 99% of local content is rubbish? And yet we're playing 99 on 150% of foreign and 150% of a select few certain musicians. Because there are musicians that are on over rotation. For a few years, I worked at ZBC, Harare, and we're producing a program as Mukundu. And in those days, when I used to walk around the corridors, I bumped into a sticker message in the booths that said, play Rambai Makashinga every 30 minutes. So there was a drive, yeah? Which is fine because there was a message that they were trying to push across. So there was a plan. So I go to the library as per expectation and leave 100 copies. And none of them see the station because that person who sent you a message and said, Sha, and it is stuck in $10 and they say fuel, and you didn't. And your music don't play. Someone say amen, please.
Amen.
And so these are the real challenges that are there in the sector. And as a union, if we really wanted to start publishing names, we are here so we can have social dialogue, so we can go back and look and say, hi, we do admit here and there we are failing, but I think we've tried 75%. Because when it did, even when the music was what you term bird now, we saw a rise of musicians when it was 75% local content. Shall we go back to campaigning for 120% local content, where you don't play the same artists? Because now there's a term called, you go and pay for marketing. But we know Kabisira, it's payola. Okay, fine, in some spaces it's legal. But sometimes it becomes even too much to a point where that payola, when it happens, those people that are being overplayed on rotation are not even getting that money from Zimura because it's not logged in the way that it's supposed to be. So there is a problem somewhere that when we're really willing, we should address it. Now, when I go to the promoters, I want to address the issue of, we take an artist who can bring us money. I'll still go back to the point that I raised earlier. We have an artist whose father died and they didn't know how to play a guitar, how to sing. And they were given an opportunity and they sang in Discord and until Baba Charamba said, until they started playing the guitar. What were they given? An opportunity in front of thousands. Of course, play on a sympathy card. And yet we have musicians that can sing, that can play, that are even being denied that 1% to play it on already a successful gig. But they are not getting those 2 minutes to play because I didn't go to a drink, because I moved around with my manager, who is my husband. So at the end of the day, I'm not given that opportunity. As long as we refuse to look at these issues in the way that they are, our industry is never going to change.
Madam President, which can say, Sir President. But what we're going to do, we're going to allow music promoter Max Mugaba to respond to that.
Guys, let's be real. We are living on a model in 1980 where we feel talent alone can open doors. Right now, the world yachakurarama, talent you need maybe 1.00%. I mean 0.001% of talent. What you need is resources. When you talk of the 75% policy, internet. Right now, all of you here are international artists. Why? Because you go through the same distribution channels on beyond. You are playing in the same platforms and one go beyond. So who's your competitor there? It's beyond. Now, in as a promoter, I do not go on the flyer, right? It is you, your name, your brand that goes there. I facilitate for you to meet with your fans. That is the role of a promoter. We are looking at a model yekuti kudhara tanga tine drama yekuti tinenge taura kuti tikuda munhu anogona, and we are going to go across the country and find that person. I don't want for one genre, but I'm going to maybe about 6, 7, which means at any given point in time, that 7 artists varied at that level. My boss was promoter those my days drama. There was nothing. But how my record labels, the promoters then came in, and by default, takuta on the tissue tama record label, and now the artists feel entitled. The entitlement bakosi machizo government. This industry doesn't work like that. This industry needs money.
Yeah, thanks. I have to cut you. But
Yeah, so as my promoters, please don't look at them. Run to charity case. Want money.
Pastor, you raised your hand long time ago.
Okay, gentlemen, wow, I'm impressed. When I listened to the conversation that you had, I was like, these are men of equity and reality. And I was also thinking, yeah, okay, these are the industry giants. But let me ask one question. Whose camera is that one? There's a camera.
There's the Zim.
There's the Zim.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the cameras belonged to the gentleman because it was based on that. But this is one thing that I want to talk about.
Mine are these ones, my phone. Yeah, I don't have a camera, I have a phone.
Because I was gonna, okay, but anyway, I also talk about it because you also have this camera with you. As artists, we've had these conversations over a long period of time where we raise our complaints. But when it comes to strategies and solutions, we are there to play the blame game and we are not there to take action. And here we are talking about gender equity. There was no camera. All of a sudden, boom! Now this is serious talk. Gentlemen, I don't even have a phone. Why did you not record?
Can I hold you, Papa? We just need to correct this.
Yeah.
Sorry. Every interview that I do, every speech that I give from the 90s, I always record. I'm sure you heard Dr. Maranda saying
yes, you record.
I record. So even kusat my cameras, I record with a cassette. And then I moved them to my MP3.
That is
so
brilliant.
These cameras, I mean, these two, they are mine. This
is just brilliant.
So yeah, this is just for me.
Exactly.
And then these two, there's Zimu. So Zimu do what is doing it. So it's just like cameras came up from nowhere.
So this is a good thing now that he's mentioned it. So we're looking at a situation where we are saying we need to get rid of Indoda Izvoneli. We need to, they were talking about documentation. NG does not have a phone, but I'm not saying, don't take it personal. This is nothing personal. NG does not have a phone. We are all artists. We are talking about equity. This is the time to take action. NG does not have a phone. Mkoma Mono will hold my hand and record Wachindi Pao. Because I'm saying...
I don't have space, Pastor. I don't have space. Serious, I don't
It's time we stop making excuses. But
No, it's not an excuse.
generally,
There's a difference between excuse
I'm just
and
trying
explanation.
to explain how we can go forward, how we can develop in the arts industry. Yeah, we need to start coming up with solutions of working together, not the Indodais Vonele thing. Because we are all talented and there are ways that we can just share information, share resources and share opportunities. Of course, kunavo vane unjikire vanoda kudzidziswa ivavo how to deal with such things. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Monoversation.